to break the silence is very important. And I think everybody needs a friend in your life that you can call and just have a screaming, what my grandmother would call a hissy fit, just a meltdown. Just, I'm sick of everything and I'm sick of everybody. And somebody who will still respect you after you've had this diatribe and gotten it out of your spirit. It's very important to have someone in your life, whether near or far away, that you can call up and just let them have it. And they, okay, I'm better now. I'll talk to you later. And they still respect you. And that's as simple as friendship. And friendship is so important to have the ability to develop relational skills with people to whom we don't have responsibilities. Because when you have relationships only with people who have expectations from you, sometimes their expectation of you is part of the weight that's on you. But when you're in a friendship relationship where there is no expectation on you, you don't have to worry about, the mortgage is behind and you want dinner and you want sex and you want this and you want that. No, we're just friends. So I can just call you up and just have a meltdown and it really doesn't matter. It's going to be okay. And then by the same token, give them that same freedom to be able to access you and we can be our brother's keeper. That we still have never answered the question, am I my brother's keeper? And that answer has to be yes. We have to assume the responsibility of looking across the office at the person who seems out of sorts today, and rather than joining them and having a fight with them, going to stop by and say, you seem kind of stressed out today. Are you okay? Or I brought you a cupcake this morning. Just something simple and fun, and creating an environment where people can have relationships we were not created to be alone. We were not created to be alone. Whether you take that from a theological perspective or whether you take it from a biological perspective, we are not a species that does well in isolation. And then when you look at the criminal justice system, isolation is a form of punishment used in prison.
That's right.
So this isolation is detrimental physiologically. The brain shrinks when left alone a long time. Memories fade. The ability to remember, our cognitive skills diminish. All of that affects us. And God himself said it's not good for man to be alone. So even if you have no one in your life, stats say that even if you have a dog, a puppy, a kitten, a cat, people live longer. So finding anybody that will listen at you, have a meltdown when you need to, or let you hum your song or express your feelings, it doesn't matter whether you're right or wrong. It matters that you get them out. And that all adds to your mental well-being, I think.
That is so true. But I think it's harder for people who are in leadership positions to do that. So many people, again, come to you.
Right.
They're looking to you for those words of advice, and so it's very hard. Don't you think that to have those folks who will just listen to you rant without them judging you or thinking that you are somewhat less for doing that?
There's a lot of people up here in the air. You don't have to fly alone. I think that one of the things that I came to grips with, I was in a session and a man was teaching a class and he said, write down all the people who feed off of you and then write down all the people who feed you. And look how much shorter one list is than the other. And it says, the challenge of life is to bring equilibrium to that list where you have as many deposits as you have withdrawals. The list may not be as long, but the hours spent around people who feed you emotionally, intellectually, spiritually. Maybe while you're working out, you're listening at somebody who feeds you spiritually. But every feeding place you can find is important. And I think it is harder when you're high profile and you're very visible. But what I'm learning to do is we have to befriend each other. We have to take the time to connect with each other because we also understand the need for privacy and respecting each other's privacy because we're also visible and quotable. You know, when nobody quotes you, you can say whatever you want.
Yes.
You know, and that's what you have to learn about social media. When nobody quotes you, you can say whatever you want. But when you are highly quotable, you have to back up, you know, and use the good old block button.
Gotta be careful.
And say now there, you know, because I think that the takeaway is the more powerful, influential, for whatever reason you become, one of those side effects, you also give up something. And you have to be prepared to give up something. And that's normalcy. And that's being able to vent in a public square. But we have to create, I think I have learned to create friends who also are quotable. And because they tend to be more apt to respect your privacy because they value it and they know what a rare commodity it is.
Mhm. Thank you for that. That is, I love the list of those who feed you and those who feed off of you. I think that it's important for everybody to have an exercise everybody should do. It makes you think about how, you know, how you're conducting your life in a way to maintain your equilibrium and make sure that you've got balance.
Yeah.
Very.
I like the word balance, and it's kind of like, because when you were talking, I was thinking of the word bankruptcy. If more deposits, if more withdrawals are coming and less deposits, you're going to go bankrupt. And
Yeah.
what we're seeing, emotional bankruptcy, is what we're talking about. You know, so if you can't decrease the withdrawals, then you must be intentional about increasing the deposits. And let's face it, not everybody feeds you. So you have to find somebody who feeds you in a language that you value. How do I do that? When you walk away from that person, are your eyes brighter? When you walk away from that person, did you get a little nugget and an uplift? Check your spirit to see if talking to them was a meal. Check it out to see if talking to them was a meal, because if it was the meal, it helps you to have a sense of well-being.